Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kendall and I do beauty related reviews. Today is going to be a review of the brand new Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I've had kind of a small leave of absence, so I figured what better time to come back than with a Huda Beauty launch, and I love their palettes. I review pretty much all of them, so I'm very excited to talk about this one. Before we dive in, if you guys enjoy this type of content, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future reviews, and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for the collection. This launches on November 1st. I'm ready to get this on my eyes, so let's get into it. So with the palette today, I actually have the Rose Quartz brush set to play around with. So this is a set of 3 with the rose quartzy handles. It's not real rose quartz, they are plastic. There are 3 brushes for $35. There is a smudge brush, a shade brush, and a blending brush. So I should be able to create the whole look today using these 3 brushes. Right off the bat, when I opened this in person, it of course reminded me a lot of the Mercury Retrograde palette. The packaging is very similar, very similar. There are some differences. We'll get into that with the palette comparisons, but this is the inside of the Rose Quartz palette. We have some really pretty neutrals, some popping shimmers. I have not swatched this yet. I'm gonna swatch the whole thing for you guys, but I have seen it swatched and it looks like it's gonna swatch beautifully. I'm a little rusty, but let's dive in and attempt an eye look. I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. So with the blending brush, I'm gonna start with the lightest shade in the palette. The lightest matte shade is called Cherished, and it's like a light pink. Just going to pile this on. I didn't expect it to be so pigmented, so that's cool. We're already getting a nice pigment out of the first shade. My brows have gone completely out of control during the pandemic, so I'm gonna have to clean those up at some point. I really noticed today just how thick and crazy they are getting. I did try to tame them and carve them out with concealer, but wow, like they are little beasts. So with the same brush, I'm gonna pick up the shade Happiness. It's a little bit deeper of a matte, and this is a little bit more on like the purpley, rosy side. So I just wanna carve my typical outer crease color and blend so that we have something going on the outer corner before I dive into like all the shimmers and such. And Happiness and Cherished really seem to blend well together. I need to swatch Cosmic Love. It's like a little bit of a marbleized shadow, and I feel like it's calling to me, but like I need to know first what it looks like. So I'm just gonna swatch it on my finger. Wow, I don't even know. That's like really beautiful when it's blended together. I think that needs to go on my lid. So bear with me if this is a mistake, but I'm gonna take my middle finger and the marbleized shade Cosmic Love, and we're gonna dive right into the lid. Oh my goodness, okay, let's go. Wow, okay, so a little bit of fallout falling on my cheek. I'm just gonna get as close as I can here with my long nails to my nose, and the rest I'll have to do with a brush. But just like getting that on, and I'll do the same thing on the other eye. Trust the process. It's so freaking pigmented. You know what it reminds me of is those new like Danessa Myricks things that are going viral. I've got my powder brush. We have to flick things away. So there is fallout when you do pick up the foiled shadows. So I'm just gonna play with the edges here with the brush. See what we can't do to blend. I can only get so far with my long nails into the inner corner and everything. Wow, so these just have insane reflex. So once I blend with the brush, it does pick up some of that foil and take it elsewhere. So I will be going back in with my finger again just to top it off, but I'm gonna go through with a little bit of a harsher blend just to make sure we don't have any weirdness happening. I like a shimmer that can blend with a blending brush, you know, and just kind of disperse all over the look. And let's see if we can't pick up that Cosmic Love with the brush. This is the shade brush, so we're gonna try to pick that up, see if it picks up with a brush. I think it's gonna pick up way better with a finger, but let's just see if we can't pop a little bit more of this onto the lid. I am like flaking it out of the pan, so messed up my cute pans. So I'm gonna tap. You know what? It picks up quite well with a brush as long as you're not afraid to like scoop it out of there, which is what I'm doing. And I'm kind of going for the upper corner of this shade, which in my palette is more of the lighter shade, rather than mixing the whole thing together. So you can like play around with that. And yes, this is picking up really, really well with the brush. I am getting more fallout than with my finger, so I'll just have to go in with the powder brush a couple more times. It's looking really, really good. It's starting to rain outside, so if you guys can hear the droplets, I'm sorry about that. Ooh, I'm loving that color. That Cosmic Love color is beautiful. I'm impressed. So I'm gonna go in with Moon Magic, which is another really incredible looking shimmer. And I'm picking up the, what is this, smudge brush? Yes. I'm picking this up with the smudge brush, Moon Magic. I'm gonna dab this into the inner corner. It's giving me an iridescent pop of color. It's always so hard with different lightings. Like, I'm hoping you guys can see just how crazy the vibe is here. I'm just obsessed with the way that this shifts. Like, it has a really, really gorgeous shift. Picking up Serenity, it's like a mauve, a matte mauve. This is gonna be my lower lash line color, and this brush is perfect for lower lash line. And I need to cover up my wrinkles because they're a little bit much today. So I start with a matte, and then I go in with a shimmer to top it. I just wanna have like a nice matte shade underneath. I'm gonna go in again with Cosmic Love. It's my favorite color out of the palette. And I'm picking up both the light and dark shades. Tapping the excess off, and then I'm just going to dot that underneath my eye, kind of just in the center as like a little tiny pop of halo. So I'm letting the glitter kind of just like go up my face a little bit and kind of like run down as like glitter tears, if you will, because there is fallout. That's one thing. I would definitely do my eyes first, doing my makeup again with this palette, but so far so good. I do want to pop on lashes, so I will excuse myself to pop on lashes, and then we have a ton more to talk about when it comes to this palette. But playing around with it for the first time, I think this is super different for me. I'm not out here wearing pink and purple shimmers, and this is like an iridescent shimmer on my lid. It's picking up really beautifully in person. I hope that you guys can see it. Wow, I'm obsessed. I will be back. Let me pop on my lashes and let's start to swatch and compare this palette. Okay friends, it's time to swatch. So I want to swatch this entire Rose Quartz palette one by one for you guys. I will include an end shot of all the shades together so you can see like what the color story looks like, and then I'm going to dive into palette comparisons. So the final look is on. I'm really happy with how vibrant it looks in real life. It's like popping, really, really beautiful iridescent shadow. Might have a floating lash right now, not really sure. I just popped on random Demi Wispy Studio Effects from Ardell. So I'm just going to pick them up one by one and share the name with you guys. So first up is Quartz. Quartz is a marbleized brown and goldish shade. It's a shimmer, so swirling them together on my finger, and it's a beautiful bronzy, very smooth shimmer when blended together. If you guys know me, you know I love a matte brown smoky eye, brown all over the lid, so Aura can create that for me, so I'm excited to swatch this one. It feels very soft and buttery in the pan, but it's very, very pigmented, so let's swatch it. It's not a super heavy swatch, it's a dry swatch as well, so that is what it looks like dry with not a lot of pressure. Next is like a couple steps lighter of a matte brown. This is called Gratitude. Really, really pigmented. So there is Gratitude. That one swatched a little bit better. My personal favorite is Cosmic Love. I did a lot of damage in this one with my brush, but it's still picking up beautiful with the finger. Oh my goodness, look at that. Cosmic Love. This is what I can see in person on my eyes. It is just transformative, like it is stunning. Next is another I would have loved to try on my eye today. It's a little dark for what I was going for. It's called Empowered. It's a metallic, I think deep purple, like smoky deep purple. And I got some of it on my nail. I'm always flipping you guys off with my swatches. I don't mean to. Look at how intense that one is. What even? It almost looks like it could be used as an eyeliner too. Super, super deep, super intense. and I need a new baby wipe because that got everywhere. Next is Joy. It is the last shade in the top row, and this looks like a rose gold shift. So it's like pink and gold. That is a stunning rosy gold. This is Joy. Next up is a matte called Precious. This is a little bit of a gray mauve shade. Let me get enough. Grayish mauvey matte. There is Precious. Next is Energized. This is a shimmer, and it looks like a silvery lilac-y shimmer. Wow. So there is Energized. That is insane. Next is the weird balmy shade called Lovestone. I don't dig these. I think they're kind of weird. It's like a balm with some iridescence in it. So I'm not sure how it's gonna swatch. It's just like, if you're looking for like a wet look, I think that this would be good for that, like a model eye look. That's not too bad looking in a swatch. I just don't know. I'm so confused by that shade. Next is Cherished, which is the lightest matte that I put down as a base today. It's actually super pigmented. I'm not sure if you guys can even see it though in a swatch because I can't see it in the viewfinder. We have another iridescent shimmer called Blissful. This is a metallic, I think, and this has so many different duochrome dimensions in it. I don't even know what to call this shade. Definitely like some metallic flakes in this one. Very intense and duochrome. Last up in the second row is Happiness. This is the deeper mauvey, pinky, rosy shade. Love my descriptions. This would make a really pretty blush color as well. Next up is Mantra. This looks like the deepest matte shade out of the palette. This is gonna be a little bit of a purpley toned black, maybe a little bit of brown, maybe a little bit of mauve in it. I'm real bad with dark colors, so that's what you're getting from me. You guys tell me, what shade is Mantra? Next is Serenity, which is a mauvey, medium toned mauve matte. There is Serenity. Next is Abundance, and Abundance looks like another really rich shimmer that I would love to have all over my eyelids. There is Abundance, and that swatches incredibly as well. All of these shimmers and metallics are just like incredible. Next is Moon Magic, which is in my inner corner. Incredible iridescent, light, like pinky and lilac and purpley and just beautiful metallic. There is Moon Magic. Wow, just speechless. Next is Radiate, which is a lightish, grayish, mauve-ish matte. Very soft and smooth. And last up is Self Love, which is another marbleized shimmer. Kind of has like a gold and then a creamy white shimmer. Very unique. I've not seen anything like this. And there is Self Love. Wow, it's like a pinky, creamy, champagne-y shimmer. So I will go ahead and insert the image of my arm with all of these shades swatched side by side for you guys. Taking a good look at Rose Quartz, I'm gonna open up Mercury Retrograde, which is, in my opinion, the closest comparison that people are making online. Here is Mercury Retrograde. First impression and comparison is that this one has some more glitters in it. It has a little bit more gold options in it. It's got a teal, a blue, just a little bit different of a vibe here, but there are some purpley shades. There's also a maroony type shade that we don't have in the rose one, so let me just look at them side by side. Here they are side by side for you guys. So very different color stories. It's just the packaging is super similar. There are some similar shades we can swatch, and I think you can create some similar looks, but there are some key differences in these. So I think Serenity from the Rose Quartz, Serenity is on my middle finger, and we will do Libra from Mercury Retrograde on my ring finger. These two are medium matte purpley shades, but they are different. Two very similar shades. Middle finger again is going to be Rose Quartz palette. Middle finger is Radiate from the Rose Quartz, and Crash is going to be on my ring finger from the Mercury retrograde. This is a bit of a transitional color, a tiny difference in hue, but these two are pretty similar. For shimmers, let's do middle finger self-love in the rose quartz palette, and let's do Galaxy from the Mercury retrograde. Similar, but not the same. They are different tones, and like I said, that self-love has a bit of a cream champagne, very different look for anything I've seen. I think moral of the story here is Mercury retrograde can probably give you a couple similar looks to the rose quartz, of course, but it's definitely not something that's like a remake of the previous palette, and I think that I like that I have both of them. So this top palette is Huda Beauty's new nude palette. And in my opinion, this one has a bit more similarity to the actual shadows than the Mercury retrograde, because we have purpley matte shades in this palette. The shade Lace in particular is pretty similar to Serenity. We also have Spanked, which I guess is a little different. It's a little bit more on the plum side than Happiness. The darker brown is more on the warm tone. It's called Raw. Aura is definitely more on the neutral side of dark brown. I think this one has a little bit more of a similar color story than Mercury retrograde does, but after further inspection, there's really not anything that I can even swatch side by side. So in this one, we do have a couple shades that are comparable, I would say. We have Naughty out of the Naughty Nude, and that compares to the Aura Brown from the Rose Quartz. We do have some bronze shimmers. Please Me is like a metallic bronze, and again, Quartz is like a bronze shimmer, so you can have comparable looks, I think, out of these two palettes, but definitely more so on the brown side rather than anything else. Naughty Nude also has like the red metallics. It's got peanut buttery, warm tones, but let me go ahead and swatch the ones that I think are comparable. So we're gonna do, again, middle finger rose quartz palette. Aura out of the rose quartz. Naughty out of the Naughty Nude will be on my ring finger. These are the browns that are comparable, but you can see the tones of these two browns are different. The middle finger rose quartz is more cool tone, Naughty is more warm tone. Middle finger picking up Quartz, the bronze shade out of the rose quartz, and then Please Me out of Naughty Nude. Both bronzes, but one is light and one is dark. So the one in the rose quartz is lighter than the Naughty Nude, and I would say every other shade is incomparable to the new palette. I hope that the comparisons were helpful for you guys. It's hard for me to hold everything up all at the same time, but I also wanted to know for myself if this was different enough to where I could recommend it to you guys, and I definitely think that I can. So I would say if you're looking for something a bit more like fun and colorful and just ethereal, like a unicorn, I would go with Mercury retrograde. If you want some of those like ethereal aspects, but you also want a wearable type look, I would go with the rose quartz. If you're looking for a very nude palette every day, a lot of mattes, I would go for the new nude. And then if you're going for a darker nude vibe with metallics and my kind of vibe, I would go with Naughty Nude. Wow, a mouthful. But I think that's it for me, guys, as far as reviewing this palette. I hope that you guys enjoyed the tutorial, swatches, and my first impressions and thoughts on this palette. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow me on my other social media so you can check in with me when I'm not posting over here. And hopefully I will see you guys all very, very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.